We are excited about the future for both the center and for the other campus ministries. I think we're growing together, and I want to emphasize that word together. And it really is a partnership, true partnership, a kingdom partnership that's healthy, and it's really filling me on a personal level with a lot more vision and excitement.
It's so helpful and so impactful just by being here. Just the fact that it's here and that people can know that there's a place on campus that is dedicated for that purpose, that they can come and just deepen their relationship with God and build relationships with other people who love God as well. I mean, just knowing that that's a huge impact on the campus.
So I love the atmosphere here because there's couches. I think that's the best thing. The fact that there's couches really just makes it feel like I'm kind of like I'm home. And I have classes. Like, this building is actually closer to a majority of my classes than the sub and library are.
Yeah, I've learned a lot of things since I came here, like spiritually, culturally, like lots of differences between America and back home in Indonesia. But something that I find really remarkable, something really awesome, is just the heart for mission here, especially even amongst college students. I feel like that there are lots of Christians, I guess, and especially young people who nowadays feel like I'll keep my faith, you keep your faith, like I'll let you do you and I'll do me. But we know as Christians, as followers of Christ, we can't have that attitude. And I find that really awesome that the young people here, the Christians here they're really passionate about sharing the gospel with other college students, and especially in a place like Boise State, where there are lots of people who need to hear. And that's something that I picked up that I'll keep close to heart.
One of the key elements as I've gotten to know people and the ministers around here and the students, and as we've interacted, a key thought that has come to mind has been discipleship and partnership. That is what it's all about. It's about really collectively trying to draw together as a group of ministers and say, how can we raise the bar? How can we reach and train and build up the campus here to be Christian leaders? Somebody can come to a state university with no religion department. They can take a class a semester here for 4 years. They can take 2 semesters off, end up with taking 6 classes, about 18 credit hours, accredited, and end up with a certificate of biblical studies that is like a college minor. And it's really an incredible thing. And here's the sweet part of it. It's tuition free. It's scholarship to students here, and that's part of the agreement that we have with Oklahoma Christian, and recognizing this as an outpost, as a mission outpost for developing Christian leaders right here in Boise.
Another young man that came here from Wisconsin with a very young, formative faith in Jesus, and was really in desperate need of more discipleship. And I was really thankful that Bill Pubels was offering a class where there was conversation, there was question, and there was answer, and there was just opportunity for not just like a download of information, but they could literally ask the hard questions, and Bill could speak to those and assist them in really deepening their understanding. This young man was just here for a couple years, but I'm confident that he returned to his home state as a stronger follower of Jesus because of the classes and Bill's discipleship, and then the fact that we could offer campus ministry here also.
People know that they're not just here for, oh, this is kind of a nice place to hang out, but they know that they can come here and they can actually have something that will look good on their resume, a certificate of biblical studies in Christian leadership, or in apologetics or something like that, that they can actually use on a resume. And it's not only for their personal advancement, but it's also for the advancement of the kingdom, which I love.
So Monday night we got together with a group of FCA members, fellow athletes and just friends. And we're like, hey, we're gonna go on this hike and let's see what happens. And we were just chatting the whole time, getting to know people more in depth than you even imagine, because you're already good friends with these people. Like, hey, like, what else do I not know about you? And like, where's your journey at? Like, you never get a chance to pause and really ask somebody, So went up and Silas, is a German exchange student. He came here to learn English. He whipped out his guitar and we started doing worship, and we were all looking out into God's beautiful world. I mean, sometimes I feel like we get so caught up in homework and like school, and we forget the fact that this is such a beautiful world. It's so beautiful, and so going up to this hike and getting opportunity to just hang out and worship, praise God, it allows you to just sit back and like refocus on what the priority is in this world. And so it was an amazing night, and my friendship's grown even more. I mean, I've already had great friendship with these people that we went with, and so it was amazing.
We have a free international dinner, or free dinner for internationals once a month, and about 4 or 5 different Christian ministries take turns providing the meal. We can have from 50 to 90 people here, depending on the month, and it's advertised by BSU, so we have a commitment to them, kind of an unwritten commitment, that we don't hit them over the head with the Bible while they're here. So it's mostly just to get to have them meet American Christian students, and for us just to get to know them, and then possibly have coffee with them at a later time to talk about other things, about spiritual things, if they're interested. We really couldn't afford to do this if we couldn't do it at the Biblical Study Center, because we couldn't afford to buy the food from BSU. And they would have to prepare the food, so we wouldn't be able to do that. So this works out great for Christian ministries that are always on kind of a shoestring budget. We can have 20 or 30 different countries represented here. And in just one table of a dozen people, you could have a dozen different countries represented. And they just really enjoy it. They just really appreciate it so much, because I think they've heard from other campuses that they don't hear of this happening, and so they really, really appreciate it.
In the first few years of Repioneering, it seemed like there were more obstacles than there were opportunities. Everything was work, whether it was paperwork, people work, facility work, and you're kind of like wondering, when can we get to the ministry? Maybe one of our dreams for the center would be like a sound system that was in place, sort of a plug and play, because when we decide to do like live worship that's not acoustic, we bring in a sound system, and it creates wear and tear on our team, and it really kind of detracts our focus from the students. And it would be a beautiful thing for us if we would be able to just arrive knowing, after a long day of ministry on campus, that we don't have to worry about those kind of resources being available. We love the upgraded video system. We love the upgraded internet. Those have been huge help to us.
It's kind of like almost like a image that I'll have in my brain always when I think of discipleship. I'll think of the Biblical Study Center, because whenever I have people who want to have that personal conversation, instead of doing it in a sub where a lot of people who are new to their faith are kind of feel awkward with all the people around, we can come here and just have that discipleship one-on-one time. And if there's something that I don't know, usually Bill might be around and he can help out. Or there's the library that's upstairs has tons of references that I can check out if I can remember which book I'm thinking of, and it's really helpful. I feel like every time I come to the Biblical Study Center, I always see the cross on Table Rock, and it's kind of like reassuring. It's like, well, I feel like God isn't only on the mountaintop, it's actually here on campus too, and that's kind of how I feel the Biblical Study Center is. It's kind of like that cross on the Boise State campus.